Okay, so basic first aid is the help given to a sick or injured person until full medical treatment is available. Okay, so the 10 basic rules of first aid is as the following. So we won't be asking all the basic rules for first aid, not all of them, but just remember a few of them. Like remember the keywords like keep calm, if danger exists, be careful. Yeah, just remember the keywords. Then moving on, inside of first aid. So this is quite, okay. Okay. Inside a first aid kit, this is quite common sense. So you just think what's inside your first aid kit and then you'll be good. And yeah. So for past years, right, they usually ask about the common injuries during boot camp. So you can read up on this also because that's what we usually ask. And yeah, so any questions for this part so far?
No, not really.
Okay. Bugle calls. Okay. This one, quite a lot, right? Yeah. Okay, so for the bugle calls, right? Similar to the first aid, the basic rules of first aid, right? You don't need to remember the entire sentence, but it would be good if you can. But if you cannot, just remember like the keywords like play it when the flag is being raised or something. Past years we asked mostly long reveille, fire alarm. That's for past years. So you can read the ones that didn't come out. But we're not going to tell you which one didn't come out lah. So yeah, just read everything. If you have any questions, you can ask now. Next one, codes of a good camper. So it's pretty straightforward, right? You see, when you go to camp, when you guys were in juniors, or if you haven't been to any camps, so it's pretty straightforward. Being a good camper, you need to be disciplined, you need to be punctual, make sure there's no damage, you need to take care of your teammates. Yeah. It's very common sense lah. Yeah. Any questions here?
Okay, so this is basically the knots. Apart from the practical thing that we might test you on, there's also the advantages and the uses of it that we would test you on later. So I suggest that you revise it and study it so that you can gain points. Just 3 points. You just get the answers from here by memorizing, then you can already. So any questions? Or you all could already? If no questions, then I hope to see this full marks for exam. No questions? Okay. Thank you for replying, Kaiwan. Thanks.
Okay, I think the reason, because the knots were in, remember we gave you guys the survey, some of you guys filled up knots. So I'm figuring that you guys might not be so clear with how to tie them. So if you are not so clear with tying them, you can check out the link. I think we linked it up into the recruitment group. If it's not there, then I'll link it up later. Okay. So how about the practical parts for knots? Okay, so the practical parts of knots, remember we gave you the signature drive. Originally, we're supposed to test you according to the signature drive. So we don't know what's going to happen in signature drive right now. So you can just practice at home. We will, like I said just now, I'll link the entire file for the video so you can go check them out and try to learn them. If you still don't know how to do it, you can ask any one of us or Mercy or Lemuel. And yeah, that's all. Okay, so okay, will we be tested for knots? So yes, you guys will be tested for knots, but when you guys are doing the paper, the knots the advantages will be in the knots. So you guys don't need to how to say, you don't need to draw how the knot is in the paper. You guys need to just need to answer the uses and advantages. But when we go back and we might do the practical version of testing you for knots, and that will be another thing. So you still need to practice for the knots. Okay. No question. Okay. So for code of good camper, how would the questions be asked? So the questions would be like fill in the blanks of a sort, or a very simple like K-bug question like you're a camper at a camp. So what must you do? What are the 3 things you must focus on? Something like that. Okay. Yeah. So it's a K-bug question. So if you answer and it's a very common sense answer, then I think you're fine. Okay. Okay. So now I'll go through very quickly the first few topics because I saw that some people were quite confused with the motto, still confused with the motto. So, okay, yeah. As you can see over here. Okay, so the motto is sure and steadfast, right? Everyone knows. Okay, and then next we have Hebrews. It's taken from Hebrews chapter 6, verse 19, NIV. And yeah, that's the motto. I think it's pretty easy to catch, right? Because you just need to remember that it's spelled with E instead of EA, okay? Okay, and this is the illustration. Okay, and then the emblem was, remember it's our emblem, the BB emblem, the original one was created by Sir William Alexander Smith and also taken from the verse Hebrews chapter 6, verse 19. So, any questions so far? Okay. Okay, the BB object. So I think it's as long as you memorize this, I think you'll be fine. But does anyone have any questions regarding like the entire explanation of the object? Because I remember explaining that I remember explaining the illustration about the object. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so I think remember last week we gave a presentation, and then for that presentation we reviewed it, and yeah, some of them were very good, but then some of you guys, right, you guys mixed up the BB2SJ motto, the BB2SJ motto and the BB2SJ motto and the BB motto. This one. Okay. So the BB2SJ will be teaching about the BB2SJ in the next meeting. But for this one, right? So the Boys Brigade motto is different from our company motto. So for example, okay, we have a lot of boba tea cafes. Okay, so it's called boba tea cafe in a whole. But then in that entire category, you have da boba, you have Xing Fu Tang, you have Gong Cha, right? So this is the same thing. So the whole BB2 Boys Brigade motto is sure and steadfast. But for BB2SJ, our company's motto is Christus Mihi Ancora. And if you don't know, you can just look at your mufti or your uniform because it's there. Okay. Any questions regarding that? Like what I just explained?
Jamie, there's a question in the chat. I think it's regarding
Do we need to write the whole thing? Are you talking about the
object, I think.
object? Okay, the object. Yes. You just have to remember the entire object. So a very easy way to remember it is just, you see the yellow highlighted words? The yellow highlighted words is what you need, basically what you need to remember. And then you add in the few white words inside. Okay, just remember these 4 words. Remember how it's spelled. Spelling is key, very important, okay? Yeah. So the BB motto, sure and steadfast, has never changed before. And BB2, yes, correct, Hannah. Okay, yeah, correct. So BB2SJ, we had one motto previously, and now we have a different motto. So we changed it once. But the Boys Brigade motto, the one that Sir William Alexander Smith founded, that motto is exactly the same. It's never changed before. It's the same thing. But as a company, our motto has changed once only. Okay? Any questions regarding this? Oh, okay. So tip for the exam, okay? So if there are any questions regarding the rank or the rank or the uniform, please spell them according to this, okay? Spell them according to the spelling. Be careful not to make any spelling mistakes. You can spell them in a short form like this, or you can spell them as a whole, but we prefer if you spell them in a whole, okay? Do you guys know how to differentiate between a captain and a chaplain? No. No. Yeah, correct. Okay, so there's actually one more that I think I previously forgot to explain, which is the honorary officer. Does anyone know what an honorary officer is? Okay, so an honorary officer is someone who was a captain previously, but now he's not a captain anymore, so he's honorary. Okay, our company has a few, but I only know of one. Sir Titi, you guys probably don't know. So an honorary officer, right? He has a orange lanyard. So captain will be red, chaplain is purple, and honorary captain is orange. Okay. So
what's the difference between an honorary captain and an honorary officer?
wait, okay, we have 10 more minutes. I'm sorry, Hannah.
Is there a difference between an honorary captain and an honorary officer?
Honorary. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a honorary captain. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad. Honorary captain. So it basically explains the meaning of it in his name. He was a captain before, or she was a captain before. That's why she or he is an honorary captain now. Okay, so a question just for you guys to answer. Do you guys know what's the difference between the uniform of the warrant officer and a normal officer? Anyone can answer. The uniform. No one? Noah. Oh, okay. So, okay, a warrant officer has a navy blue lanyard. So if you look very closely, you can see that it's actually a very dark blue, very close to black. That's why you normally can't tell if it's black or blue. So that's the difference. Anyone have any other questions? Okay.
So
yeah.
a warrant officer's lanyard is navy blue and the officer's lanyard is black.
Yes, correct. From the previous Google Forms, right? I see that you guys still are kind of not sure about this one. So staff sergeants are not NCOs and they are not officers, but they are members of the officer council. So they work with the officers. Okay, so this one's the uniform, so very easy lah, okay? Senior members wear this except without the lanyard and without the chevron, because that's only for the NCOs, including the staff sergeant. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be okay, right? Okay. I think this is, yeah, it's the last one. Okay, BB handshake. BB handshake is like when you just look at the picture, it's right there already. Okay, so you take your right hand and you separate the little pinky like this, and then you interlock with the other person's hand and you shake. So when you shake, it's stiff, it's firm. It's not like sloppy and all. So when we the only few times, not the only few times. Okay, whenever we meet a fellow BB member outside, we usually do this handshake. Is like nice to meet you, something like that lah. And before we receive our badges on ENA day, we have to do this also. Okay. Any questions? So a staff sergeant is like a graduated. Yes, something like that. A warrant officer, right, is a how do I say? Okay, staff sergeant when they are old enough, I think when you say when they've received a certain amount of training, they'll become a warrant officer. And the reason why a warrant officer is not an officer yet, it's not like other officers, is because there's another certain amount of training you need to go through to become an officer. So there's training before you can go from a staff sergeant to a officer. Is there anything you guys not sure about? Like you guys think about the questions we asked during the quizzes, and the very people did the quizzes, by the way. It's still on, so you guys can still go and do it if you guys want to do some revision. No questions? Okay, we have 4 minutes, so I think
like the BB's logo, that thing. So like I know it has been changed before, like in the slide just now that you showed the one. So do we have to like memorize about that also?
Do you have to memorize this? You mean the wording?
Yeah, like whether it changed before and stuff like that.
You do actually, yeah. Okay, you don't necessarily need to memorize how many times it changed, because I'm pretty sure it might have changed a couple of times, but these are the significant ones. So you remember how this looks, how these two looks, and how different they are. What's the difference? And you remember the year, 1888
Okay.
and 1899, 1883. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so during the exam, we'll be asking like a very, please read the questions properly. It's will be very detailed about it. So we'll ask questions like why is it called members, why was it changed to members instead of boys for this one? See, members. You guys know why it's members and not boys?
So that like to include girls.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay. So this is the exam details. We posted a big amount of it on the announcement, but yeah. So any questions about the announcement so far? This is the exam syllabus, yeah. Any questions?
So it's basically the syllabus is on the announcement already, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, but I'm sorry to say this so late, okay? But on the announcement and the announcement in the group, we actually left out a few topics and we just added it in here. But it's under basics, so it's under basics. Sorry about that. If you guys have any
do we just have to like refer to the handbook, because it's like most of the topics, I mean all of the topics there are like
for revision or for the exam itself?
Like for revision, like the topics that we are gonna
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you guys can't find the notes are actually in the Google Drive link that we sent to you the other day. because some of them, like the bugles and knots, they are not in the handbook. Okay, sorry, I'll answer the question. Will we be doing the exam online? Yes. Okay, so the platform will be using Google Meet, and the exam will be in the form of Google Forms. So we'll be giving you the Google Meet link, and then you guys will come in, and then when everyone is here at 2 p.m. sharp, we'll be sending out the link for the exam. Okay, last question before this end. Can I ask about the bugle test? Will we be listening? Okay, so that's for the practical one. For this one, right, for the written exam, we'll only ask you about the function, so you have to just memorize that. Okay.
So as we said just now, right, the motto, the BB motto and the BB-J motto is the different one. So in 2003, the motto is one body, many parts. So you must remember the verse and the whole verse. So our current motto is Christis Mihi Ancora, and you also need to memorize the verse. Okay? So scroll down. Okay. So last 2 weeks we have a assignment, right? So we asked you to do the local company level one. So you should do it like that. Some of you do it correct and then some of you do it wrong. I hope everyone is clear about this. Okay? Is everyone clear here? Any questions? Like for the exam, we will ask you to like fill in the blanks of this local company level.
Okay. Kaisin, I say something. Okay. So during the exam, during the presentation we asked you guys to do previous week, one of you guys asked about what the local company level is. So local company level is like, you know, that how the NCO committee has their own people and there's a council for the NCOs. Yeah, this is almost the same, but instead of it being just focused on the senior section, it's focused on the entire company. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, I think we can cover BB uniform. Okay, might not be able to cover the entire topic today, but I think we cover the etiquette part. Private Kaisin.
Okay. Actually, you can go through the notes here. You can also go to the YouTube and search for that because it's quite, you can read yourself. I got nothing to teach much, but for the chevron, lanyard, these two is for NCOs. Remember that privates are not allowed to wear that lah. Okay, and then the next one is staff sergeant and sergeant sash. That one is for staff sergeant and sergeant. You remember the red and blue sash? Yeah, that one. And for field service rank, that one is usually worn when we are the NCOs are wearing the mufti or sports attire. Oh, also the staff sergeant have an field service rank. Okay? Is everyone clear here? Okay. For the sky blue tie. Sky blue tie is usually worn when you are wearing the ceremonial uniform. So if you are in the
day dress
uniform, you should not wear your sky blue tie. And then you must like fold on your sleeves. But if you are in ceremonial, you don't need to fold on your sleeves. Okay? I think it's all done for etiquette. So we go on to uniform maintenance. Okay, for uniform maintenance, actually mostly are the same, but you must take note that this is usually the question we ask. So it's for the batch one. So for the batch, not batch, the metal part, name tag, all that, right? You must remember to put inside the bottle, and then inside must put silica gel. You know what's the use of the silica gel, right?
To absorb moisture.
Yeah. And then another question is for the boots. If it is wet, what should you do? Like, this is a question. If your
Stuff
boots
it
are
with
wet,
newspaper.
after you stuff with newspaper, what should you do? Should you put it in under the sun? Hello?
No.
Okay.
I have a question. The field service rank thing is the thing that you wear on your hand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The one for yeah. Then like the field service cap is which is the normal cap, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, question for the recruits, yeah. You guys know when to wear the ceremonial uniform and when to wear the day dress?
ENA day that we wear the ceremonial uniform.
Okay, yeah. There's another day besides ENA day. Okay, it's okay if you guys don't know because I think this is your first year as a senior. So we have this thing called BB Sunday. It's a Sunday which BB helps with all the Sunday service preparations. So on that day, we'll also be wearing ceremonial uniform. Okay, understand everyone? Does anyone know what the officer's cap is called?
Glengarry.
Yes, correct. I'll just write it here. Wait. Okay, it's okay. Glengarry, I'll just type it. Okay, Glengarry is the black cap that the officers have. Any other question? Oh, okay. Are you allowed to bleach your haversack? Haversack is white, right? So if you bleach, are you allowed to bleach it and make it whiter? Who knows the answer? Anyone? Yes? Okay. The answer is actually no, you can't bleach your haversack because if you bleach your haversack, right, the haversack will start to become very disintegrated. So don't bleach your haversack. Just wash it, just scrub it with the soap, then it'll be fine. Okay, so these uniform etiquettes and maintenance, right, is the type of things you want to know when you go up to the senior section because you will need them every single week. You will need to go through inspection. Okay, so yeah, you need to know these.
So
You
for
don't.
our sorry.
Yeah. Hannah, go ahead.
For the haversack thing, so we are not supposed to bleach it, but like in the notes it right at home hang and bleach it before washing weekly.
Hang and bleach. Just give me a minute. I don't.
At the uniform maintenance part. The
After
fourth.
fourth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hang and bleach it. Okay. Do not hang and do not bleach it. I say right now. Okay, I can't edit for some reason. Do not bleach it. Okay, do not bleach. Bleach. No, don't bleach. Do not bleach. Notes is wrong. Understand? Do you bleach it or not? No, you do not bleach it. Okay, I'm so sorry. Any other questions? No? So the boots, we can dry it using newspaper and we cannot put under the sun. Yes, you cannot put it under the sun. Do you know why? Because if you put it under direct heat, okay, so you polish already, right? If you polish it and you put it under the sun, the kiwi will melt. And then when the kiwi melts, your entire boot cap will become very dull and very not shiny. So don't put it under the sun. It also damages the leather because they will be like the leather is not very heat sun resistant, I think. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Just a question. It's not related to any of these topics. You guys know what award cannot be worn on your uniform? Okay. So very obviously it's your cap badge. You can't wear your cap badge on your uniform, right? Yeah. It's a very weird question, but it's come up before. So there are two awards or badges that you cannot wear on your uniform. One is the buttonhole badge. So if you guys don't know what the buttonhole badge is, you can refer to page page 29 of your handbook later if you want. So that is a buttonhole badge. So a buttonhole badge is basically a badge for your membership. So you can wear it on any other thing, like you can wear it on your mufti, you can wear it when you go out on your shirt, but you cannot wear it on your uniform. Same thing goes for the cap badge because cap badge goes on your cap, right? Okay, so if this question comes out, just know it's not, you cannot wear your buttonhole and your cap badge on your uniform. Okay?
Also, just now because like you talked about what we can wear on the uniform, I actually also like wanted to know like why we can't wear a watch like when we are in uniform.
Okay. So when you see us in uniform, right, what do we look like? We look all the same, right? None of us are like standing out particularly. We're not, you can't look at us and say, oh, that guy's not wearing a uniform or that guy's not complete. But then if you wear a watch, so normally a watch is either shiny or it's black or there's something on your hand lah. So if that's the case, you're not exactly in a uniform anymore. You're like kind of out of the entire, how do you say, uniform situation. Yeah, that's why you can't wear earrings and watches. It's also for the sake of like formality lah, because when you go for a formal meeting such as the parade or BB, right? You don't normally go there with earrings and you don't go with necklaces because it's not so formal, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Cause like I've always wanted to know, cause like sometimes I forgot to take my watch out and stuff. So yeah, thanks.
Passing mark is 80, right? Yes. The paper will be 50, but we'll times 2. So you have to get around 40 questions correct. And if you guys do end up taking a receipt, right? The receipt, we actually raised the marks higher, passing mark higher for a receipt. So it will be better if you pass on the first round. Yeah, but if you don't pass, it's okay. We can do it another time. Okay. Yeah. So you guys can leave. If you guys want to stay, you can ask questions.